And we're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here for May 6th. We've got every team in Major League Baseball playing today, and we've got our 5 best bets for this slate. Now, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. And later today, we're going to have our NBA playoff predictions. Huge games today in both Cleveland and Minneapolis, Minnesota. You got the Cavs-Pacers Game 2 and Game 1 between the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And over on Greedo Plays MMA, 3 MMA predictions videos this week. The first being our PFL Mania predictions. Those were posted yesterday. Our PFL Europe predictions were supposed to go out today. I pushed that back until tomorrow, so that's going to be on Wednesday here on the channel. And of course, on Sunday, we had our UFC 315 Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena full card predictions. Again, the PFL Mania and the UFC predictions are linked in the description down below. We're going to do PFL Europe tomorrow instead of today now on Greedo Plays MMA. And go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA. Less than 300 subscribers away from 1,000. Let's go out and get that. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets for the MLB today. We kick things off with our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. We're running back Nationals money line. The Nationals didn't play yesterday. Game got rained out. I feel like they could have, if they wanted to, squeezed it in, but they said, you know what, okay, we're just going to postpone it to today. The Nats and Guards have a back-to-back traditional doubleheader today, the second of which we played around 4:30. First game at 12:35 over in DC. I'll be honest, nothing really changes from yesterday. It's the same exact pitching matchup. Ben Lively and Brad Lord will go the second game of the day, but the first game is Luis Ortiz and Jake Irvin, and I'm really surprised. I saw this line open at about plus 110 Nats. It's now plus 100. I'd play it. I think it's a really great line for them. I think it's much better than the second game, and I'm actually glad that we get 2 games today because I don't feel great about the Nationals winning the second game today. I think they can. I'm not sold on Ben Lively's stuff. And we got a guy in Brad Lord going who had a really good start in Philadelphia in his last one, maybe potentially Brad Lord's last start before going back to the bullpen. But we get Luis Ortiz versus Jake Irvin in the first matchup today, and I love that for Washington. Again, we talked about it yesterday. Luis Ortiz in spots against the Nats with Pittsburgh and whatnot. He hasn't been the greatest. When Luis Ortiz pitched in a relief appearance last year, first home series of the year for the Nats against the Pirates, Luis Ortiz came in the game. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 2-3 runs. The Nats, hit and they see Ortiz fairly well, and he's not one of these guys who really scare me. He's a righty who, throws decent speed, but this is a guy with a 4.78 ERA. His start gets pushed back a day, and you get Jake Irvin on the other side, who technically right now on ESPN, and I think, I don't think the Nationals have officially declared a starter for Game 1. I'd expect it to be Jake Irvin. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Again, Irvin was supposed to pitch yesterday. I'd assume he's just going to pitch the day game because the Nats have listed Brad Lord as the starter for the second game. Outside shot, Mike Soroka is going to be back, but he's likely not back until Wednesday's game. So it's 100% going to be Jake Irvin tonight on the mound for the Nationals, and I really like that. Again, Jake Irvin, sure, his start in Philadelphia was not great, but we have progressively seen Jake Irvin continue to pick up momentum as the season's gone on after that disastrous first inning and really disastrous start to the season, but really the disastrous start for Irvin against that Dodgers game, against the Dodgers in DC. He's really bounced back, and he's been really good. And I look at this Nationals lineup, again, a team building momentum. They are 3 games under 500. Dare I say they might sweep the Guardians? Probably not. I'm just hoping for a series win here, and I think the wins do come in the first half of this back-to-back and tomorrow where we get Mitchell Parker on the mound in a hopefully bounce-back spot. But I think by far the best bet for the Nats today is in that first game at 12:35. I don't get why the odds are even for the first and second games today, just because, again, we get a much better matchup in the first one with Jake Irvin versus Luis Ortiz. And I look at this Nats squad. Again, this is a team that plays much better at home this season. They have struggled mightily on the road this year. The Nats are 9-7, but when you really factor in that disastrous first half of the season, or first series and first week of the season, the Nats have a much better home record. So this team's played well again. And by the way, the teams that they've played at home this season are nothing but juggernauts. They've played the Phillies, the Dodgers, the D-backs, the Orioles, the Mets at home. They've played some really good teams, and sure, they've struggled on the road against, Miami, Pittsburgh. They lost a game in Colorado, but this team steps up to the plate at home at Nats Park, and hopefully there's a good attendance for this game. And I think, again, Jake Irvin's going to be able to pitch his way to victory. And again, Nats bullpen fully rested. Obviously, they got to play 2 games today, but potentially you might see Kyle Finnegan twice today. And I think the Nats also have officially figured out their bullpen, right? 9th inning, Kyle Finnegan at lockdown time. He's going to break the saves record in franchise history for the Nationals this year. 8th inning setup man is Jose A. Ferrer. Yes, the ERA is kind of high right now, but Ferrer has some nasty stuff, hard-throwing lefty, and he's still fairly young as well. In the 7th inning, depending on matchup, we've got 2 really good guys in Jorge Lopez and Andrew Chafin, who we just signed from the Toledo Mud Hens, the Tigers' AAA affiliate. And I think we have a really solid 7, 8, 9. Cole Henry, Jackson Rutledge, Lucas Sims, who's locked in since Colin Poche got dropped, and Ribalta can fill in as needed as well. But I'm cool with the 7, 8, 9 right now. Nats bullpen on full rest. I'm not sold on Cleveland. Again, they are a 2-man squad. I feel like, yeah, Daniel Sheeman, again, had that big hit in Toronto. He can hurt you. But really, when we're looking at Cleveland, we're really just fearing J-Ram and Stephen Kwan. I'm okay with the Nats here. I'm taking Nationals money line in the first game plus 100. I wouldn't touch the second game today. I hope the Nats win, but by far I'm more confident in the day game. Give me Nats money line to kick off the day. Next up, we move to our best player prop of the day, and damn it, Bryce Harper, it's time to get going, right? Harper said something to the media about how he's been frustrated with this first month and a half, 30 games of the season. And, you know, Bryce Harper, again, elite player in the league. He's batting .235, 6 home runs, 17 RBI. Something has to change. And I think we saw, again, a step in the right direction on Sunday. Bryce Harper hits a home run for the Phillies, the first one of the game, and that 11-9 loss. He has 2 hits. I think Harper is slowly getting it back, right? We know what Bryce Harper can do when he's on his game, right? This is an elite player in the sport. He is one of the faces of the game of baseball. Again, I've seen it firsthand being a Washington Nationals guy. Dare I say, it's true, Bryce Harper is the reason I am a Nats fan. Circle back to 2012. Regardless, though, right, Bryce Harper gets Drew Rasmussen tonight, Rasmussen versus Harper, career 1 for 3. They've only seen each other in 1 game, but Harper again with a hit against Rasmussen. Personally, I don't think the pitching matchup affects much. Rasmussen's a really good pitcher, at least this year he's been. Sub 1 whip, 2.64 ERA. Rasmussen's been solid for Tampa Bay. I don't care. This is a AAA stadium, our spring training facility where Bryce is playing for the first time. I feel like the ball should fly there for Harper. And dare I say, I think Bryce Harper is going to hit a home run tonight. So we're going over 1.5 total bases. Again, I have said in the past, I do like shifting. I'm going to try to shift to more hits, runs, RBI. But in this spot, yesterday it cashed for us as well. I mean, we saw a great matchup for Pete Alonso in Arizona against the D-backs, and hell, he went yard and easily cleared the line for us. I don't think the matchup's as good here for Bryce Harper against Rasmussen compared to what Alonso had last night. However, I think Harper, again, is gaining steam right now. Again, I think that D-backs game was a step in the right direction. I think he needed to see one hit the seats out in the opposite field and left. And I think Bryce Harper, again, will have a lot of success today against Tampa Bay. Regardless of if it's a home run, obviously, those are the 4 bases right there. Or Bryce gets on with multiple hits. Again, in that Arizona game, first game in a while on Sunday where Bryce Harper had 2 hits in the game. I think he might do that again. Again, it's a thing with Bryce Harper. It's just a matter of time before this guy gets going, right? We know what Bryce Harper does at an elite level. He's 32 years old. He's still one of the best players in the sport. He's getting ramped up, obviously, to start for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic next year. I would not expect Bryce Harper to continue to bat .235, right? I just don't expect that. The guy's too good for that. He's got great power, obviously. I was thinking his breakout was going to come in the National Series because, with Washington's luck, that's how things go. But Bryce is working better counts now, and obviously that's all going to develop, right? You work better counts, you see better pitches. I think Bryce is going to be completely fine, and I think, again, this is another step in the right direction, especially in a game where, okay, Rasmussen could see a lot of success against this Philadelphia lineup, right? This is a guy with a, sub-3 ERA. Past history with other hitters on the Phillies. I mean, Trey Turner's 1 for 1. You look at Bryson Stott's 0 for 1. Kyle Schwarber's 3 for 8. Bohm's 0 for 2. Castellanos 0 for 1. Brandon Marsh 1 for 1. Max Kepler 1 for 4. I mean, this is a spot where potentially, again, Tampa, or I guess Rasmussen might be dealing against this Phillies lineup. might need a guy like Bryce Harper to drag them out the dirt and get them going in this type of game. And I think, again, Harper will be a spark plug in this one for the Phillies, and I do think he's going to put one in the seats here in Tampa or in Florida, where they're playing at the Yankees spring training facility. And I'm going Bryce Harper over on total bases. Again, 1.5 is the line, and we get plus money for this play as well. I like it a lot. Bryce Harper plus 110. We are actually 0-2 this year picking Bryce Harper. So let's get it together, pal. All right, we're 0-2. Let's not make it 0-3. Rasmussen's coming off his last start where, again, he's got a great ERA. He's not going to go deep into a game, though, right? I mean, last start against Kansas City, 5 innings. Diamondback start, 5 innings. In his last 2 starts, he's gone 5 innings, given up 3 runs, and 5 innings, given up 4 runs against Arizona and Kansas City. This is a more than capable Phillies lineup, and obviously, again, it starts and ends, it feels like, with Bryce Harper, the face of the franchise. He personifies Philadelphia baseball. I'm taking Bryce Harper over on 1.5 total bases today. Give us one in the gap, get us one in the seats, get us multiple hits. Don't care how he gets it done. Bryce Harper over 1.5 total bases here in Florida. Let's move on now to our third best bet of the video, and we go back to one of our money line plays today. Let's go to the Bronx. I'm afraid this one feels too good to be true, right? I say this a lot, but there are plays, right, where they just feel like an easy lay. And sometimes it hits, but sometimes, again, that's the trap that we say, Vegas has set the trap and we're walking right into it. Well, this is a nationally televised game on TBS, on Turner, and the Yankees are playing the Padres, obviously, for the second consecutive day. Yesterday, a 4-3 victory for San Diego. You get the whole, Tatis ejection or whatnot. It is what it is. Or the Padres manager got ejected. Regardless, Padres still win the game 4-3, right? Still win the baseball game. Pivetta goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, 2 ERA now in the season for him. Pivetta's been great. The bullpen comes in and completely shuts down New York, right? They don't score a single run off that bullpen with guys like Estrada and Suarez. Again, they have a nasty pen. I don't know if Suarez has given up a run all year. I think he's given up 1. Right, so that's what San Diego's going to do to you. Their bats, right? We talked about the beginning of the season. Oh, Luis Ariz is struggling. Oh, no, he's batting 200. Well, he's now got that average up to 297. Manny Machado's batting 294, right? I mean, these guys are getting it going. And obviously, Tatis, who did go over yesterday, is still one of the elite bats in the league. He's batting 317 this season, right? This is a game that the Padres were trailing the entire outing. They were down 3-0 going into the top of the 8th. They score 4 runs, right? Manny Machado with the big double to break them through and get them on the board. And then Xander Bogaerts with a double that scored both Luis Ariz and Manny Machado. And ultimately, they won the baseball game, right? Just a lull Yankees moment. Anyways, the pitching matchup tonight, I feel like it favors us a lot. Tatis and the Padres manager, I believe, got ejected, if I'm not mistaken. I know Tatis got ejected. Regardless, Michael King, Clark Schmidt. Guys, this favors us a lot. And this is where the Yankees are going to struggle against really good teams. I think it is with some of their pitching. Again, Garrett Cole out for the season. But you look at a guy like Clark Schmidt, who is an active member of their starting rotation. 5.52 ERA this year. Sure, his last start was pretty solid against the Toronto Blue Jays. He goes 5 innings, 1 run, 1 hit. It's a home run. Prior to that, though, 4 innings against the Guards, 7 hits, 5 runs. Royals, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Clark Schmidt has struggled. He's got some decent put-away stuff on the swing, with obviously forcing swing and misses. But Michael King, man, a big part of that Soto trade, right? Michael King, between these two teams, you get a revenge game here for Michael King. You know what he has with his put-away stuff. Sure, it's only 1 start this year, but I'm going to, go back to it. Against Colorado, he goes 9 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. But he's, since then, has some really good starts, too. Obviously, hasn't gotten out of the 6th inning, but still, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. At San Francisco, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. Right? I think Michael King, for as good as the Yankees lineup is, we saw Pivetta deal with them, in a decent way, right? Dealt with some walks issues, but regardless, right, I think Michael King should be able to manage this Yankees lineup fairly well. And obviously, again, you look at the number 2 spot in the order, you look at Aaron Judge batting an unheard of 414 this season. He did go 0 for yesterday, but I mean, is it time to have that conversation beyond Judge and Goldschmidt? This team doesn't really scare me at all. Trent Grisham has had a decent year. He went yard yesterday. But really, I mean, yes, Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball by far. He is 100% going to win another Most Valuable Player award this year. I mean, I cannot deny that. Paul Goldschmidt, the former Most Valuable Player as well in the National League, has been great this year too, batting 353. He goes 2 for 4 yesterday as well. But I mean, and sure, I'm sure Bellinger is going to get it going eventually, but he's a guy batting 200. Volpe's still struggling. Dominguez is barely in the lineup. I think Aaron Boone hates the guy. Grisham's been good. Ben Rice has been serviceable, obviously, but I don't know. Jazz is out. I know Chisholm wasn't the best prior to his injury, but other than Judge and Goldschmidt, I don't know. They're good, but, we talk about how good they are compared to the rest of the American League. They're only 3 games over 500 right now. They're a 19-16 ball club, and obviously that still has them in first place of the American League West. Somehow, someway, the Seattle Mariners have the second best record in the American League. I will get to that team at the end of the video. I have a lot to say about them. But yeah, the Yankees are good, but compare them to the National League, they're just a middle-of-the-pack team in the NL. Again, we've had this conversation before. The National League is, 10 times better, I feel like, than the American League. Hell, I wish the Nationals played in the AL East. They'd be the third place. Actually, they're third place in the AL East as well. But, they'd be very competitive right now in the AL East. Anyways, yeah, the Yankees are good, but I think when they play these elite teams, especially from the National League, they're going to lose. And I think this is a great spot for San Diego. They're on a heater right now. The Padres have won 6 consecutive games. They go and sweep that 2-game set against the Giants. They sweep the Pirates in Pittsburgh, and they pick up the win yesterday in the Bronx. I think they're able to pick up another victory. Give me 7 in a row here for the Padres to send them to 24-11. And guys, this team isn't even first place in their division. One of them or the Dodgers are going to have to play in the wild card round, which is insanity, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you build a super team in Los Angeles, California. Anyways, I like the Padres in this spot. I think Michael King propels them to victory, and I think the Padres continue to use that momentum that they've built in Pittsburgh, in San Francisco, or at home against San Francisco, and in the Bronx yesterday to beat the New York Yankees for the second consecutive day. Give me Padres money line. They are slight dogs in the spot as well, which I think is ridiculous. I didn't change the middle of the screen. That's my fault. It should be minus 115. I don't trust in Clark Schmidt. I trust in Michael King. So give me the San Diego Padres to continue to win, and they're going to do it in the Bronx today. Let's move on now to our 4th best bet of the video. It's our NRFI of the day. Yesterday we hit. Shout out to the Reds and Braves for getting us those 6 outs. I believe the Reds didn't even score the entire game. I believe it was 4-0 Atlanta. But today our NRFI will come with the Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants. All right, well, we're going to need Unk to come through tonight and Justin Verlander. There were other spots I kind of liked today. The main one obviously being Paul Skeens, Matthew Liberatore over in St. Louis, but that NRFI is minus 155, and I'm not going to tell you to play that. Not at all. The other one was Jackson Jobe and Chase Dollander, but I don't know. I get scared with NRFIs in Colorado, right? I think we're going to get 6 outs there, but Dollander versus Detroit does scare me a little bit, so I'm going to stay away. I feel like this is the best play. There was Evaldi, Lucas Giolito, but I'm going to this one. Giants Cubs. Okay, ultimately, guys, this is centered around Unk, Justin Verlander, right? JV, we need you to get 3 outs for us. Okay, Colin Rie, I'm not really concerned with. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's going to get us the outs. This is a guy who won't give you much depth or length into a game, right? He's a reliever who kind of starts now as well. Well, he does start now, but really reliever kind of turns starter. I feel good about him getting us the first 3 outs of this game. I really do. And I think, again, right, the Giants offense has been kind of stagnant. The NRFI did hit yesterday as well. But you look at what the Giants are doing, right? And I've said this before with the Giants. They're not winning in a sustainable way. I still don't think this is a playoff team. Just look at this lineup, right? Jung Ho Lee's amazing. He's an all-star. I get that. Matt Chapman's a great glove. Patrick Bailey's a great glove. But Chapman's batting 210 in the 4, and Patrick Bailey's batting 181. Heliot Ramos needs to step up. He's been just mid, but he needs to be a lot better if this team's going to succeed. Adames has been, I'll say it, mediocre since coming over from Milwaukee. Wilmer Flores has cooled off since his hot start in Cincinnati and beyond. You look at this team, and they don't impress you, right? Jung Ho Lee's great. He's batting 300. But this is not a sustainable way to be 8 games over 500. The Giants will not keep up this pace, and I've been saying this from really the start of the season. Like, yeah, it was a great start for them, but this will not continue, and I feel fairly confident that it won't. So we look at the NRFI for this game. Rie gets Heliot Ramos, who can hit the ball very hard and hit it very far, but he's also a huge strikeout guy as well. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. I think Rie gets him. Willy Adames has been mid this year. Let's just call it how it is. I think we get the out there, and Jung Ho Lee is the biggest threat. I think there's a chance he gets on base, but does he homer? Probably not. So then we look to, okay, Matt Chapman in the 4. Chapman, again, he can sting the ball, but he went 2 for 3 yesterday. I think he's due for some regression. I'm okay with Rie again getting the outs. So we're okay with that. We're going to get the outs with Colin against the Giants. The concern is with, again, Justin Verlander. One of the greatest pitchers of all time. I can't deny that. Multiple-time Cy Young Award winner. but he's got a 4.38 ERA. I will say his last start was good, honestly. It's the Rockies, but he did a decent job. Start before that, I think he did a really good job against the Rangers as well, you know? He had some bad starts to start the year against Cincinnati and Philadelphia, but when you really look at these last 3 starts from JV, Angels, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. Rangers, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Only 1 earned, by the way. Rockies start, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. Right? Verlander's actually done a decent job. I do worry a little bit, again, because the guy's 41 years old or 42 years old, likely not even his last season this year. But I think he's going to get us the outs. I really think so. Now, do I think the Giants win the game? Probably not, because, the Cubs are a better hitting team, obviously, right now. They're the hotter team, and, in all fairness to JV, he hasn't done a bad job, but the Giants have lost in each of his last 4 starts. But ultimately, guys, that's a run thing for them. They can't get any run support, because, again, that's what they get trapped into, right? Logan Webb's great. Their pitching rotation is very solid, right? Robbie Ray's doing a decent job. Not really Jordan Hicks, but they just can't score in most games, right? I mean, I think that Little League home run against the Rangers last week kind of just sums up the Giant season so far. Like, yeah, again, they're electric, they're fun, but they're getting by, and they're really winning games in, unsustainable ways. Anyways, this isn't about the win. We just need Justin Verlander to get 3 outs. Ian Happ, I think he can get him. Kyle Tucker, that's the scary one, but former teammates in Houston, I'm going to side with the guy who's, been around Kyle Tucker, the vet. I think the crafty vet's going to get an out there. Seiya Suzuki, righty. Michael Busch, Carson Kelly's batted in the 5 now, so I'm cool with that. Probably not going to see him in JV's first inning. Past the first inning, we don't care, but yesterday the NRFI did hit with Rupp and with Matt Boyd. So I think the NRFI hits again today. Colin Rie, Justin Verlander, go out and get us 6 outs to kick off this game at Wrigley Field. Again, it's all going to come down to the bottom half of the inning. I don't think the Giants are scoring in the first half. Let's go, Unk. Let's go, pal. JV for the win. Justin Verlander, get us the second half of the NRFI today. Minus 120 from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. We go on to our final best bet of the day. I'm sick of the Seattle Mariners. I just am. I'm so sick of this baseball team. They cannot do me any good. I think, guys, we might be 0 for 3 actually picking the Mariners this season. I used to fade them a lot, but I think we're 0-3 playing Mariners money line this year. Of course, we start betting on this team as soon as they get off their hot streak. I heard all these great things about, Seattle's hitting the ball well. They were. And honestly, they didn't even hit the ball badly last night until extra innings. In extra innings, this team couldn't do anything. And sure, again, the Mariners were not helped at all by that umpire. Just some ridiculous calls, but ultimately, Andres Munoz in the 10th inning, that's not what lost them the game. So really, they got out the inning. Game would have been tied regardless of the calls behind the plate. Game would have gone to the 11th anyway, and they couldn't get it hit. Again, I've heard the Mariners are, they're improved, they're much better now. And then I watch a game, and again, they had a big 3rd inning. They get a big hit in the 8th by Williamson. And then other than that, there's no offense. Their 10th inning, it was a move over, fly ball, tag up to 3rd, sack fly, and a horrible throw by Tyler Soderstrom in the top of the 10th, hit by Miles Mastrobuoni. And Kyle Raleigh somehow scored again because Soderstrom just completely missed Shea at the plate. That's why he was a former catcher. And that's all the Mariners scoring. They had a good 3rd inning, right? Again, multiple hits, Jorge Polanco getting it going. Of course, he's the only competent guy in this offense. But guys, I just don't see it with this Mariners team. I'm going to go back to being the number 1 Mariners hater. I said this yesterday, right? If the Mariners weren't going to win yesterday, I'm officially off this team. The A's tonight can step into first place in the American League East. And I sure hope they do. Guys, this team, I keep watching the squad, and they're good, man. They are. Lawrence Butler's kind of figuring it out right now. Jacob Wilson's electric, man. I don't know why he got 7th. Dallas Braden said this last night in his street. This guy barely swings and misses, He's great at the plate. He only swings at strikes, and he's such a tough out. His OBP's 370. He bats 340. Why is nobody talking about Jacob Wilson, and why isn't he batting leadoff for this team? Just move everyone down. Go Wilson, Butler, Rooker, Soderstrom. I don't see a problem in that, But I look at the Mariners, I'm like, this team just, they can't hit. I don't care. Yeah, Polanco's good. J.P. Crawford actually has been much better. J-Rod, guys, when are we going to have that conversation about Julio Rodriguez? I'm sure he'll figure it out eventually. But guys, what's going on with that guy? He's progressively gotten worse every single season he's been in the majors. He just has, I don't know, great fielder, but at the plate, my goodness, the guy can't get a hit. He's batting 200. It's ridiculous. And by far, though, the best part of this game and what makes me feel so confident about the Athletics tonight is the pitching matchup. Emerson Hancock, guys, not ready for prime time. I'm just going to be honest. The multiple times I've seen Hancock pitch this year, and sure, the Mariners have won in the last 3 starts that he's had. That's because they've gotten run support. They're done getting run support. They used all of their juice for the rest of the season. They're not getting any more run support out their squad, all right? So yes, Hancock, he didn't get the wins in any of these games, if I'm not mistaken. He got it in 1. I think he got it in the Boston game. But 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Angels, 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs. He's pitched around a lot of traffic on the base paths. Good for him. Again, I'll remember that blow-up start against the Tigers. 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. Hancock's still not ready for prime time. And the A's in their own ballpark, yeah, this team swings it. They hunt the deep ball. They're going to swing early in counts, and they're hard to get out. Again, the young core. Langoliers. I don't know why he came out of my mouth first, but Butler, Rooker, Wilson, Blade. By the way, why do the Mariners walk to get to Jacob Wilson in the 11th inning? Pitch to Blade. Why do you want to pitch to the guy who doesn't swing and miss and always puts the ball in play with bases loaded, no outs? Anyways, yeah, I like the A's today. Jeffrey Springs on the mound. You know, Springs has been all right. Last start, really good against the Rangers, right? Go 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. Had some really difficult starts prior to that, but I think that Rangers start is the start, again, of, you know, a progression in Jeffrey Springs. I think the A's are going to be okay today. I'm officially off the Mariners. That team is kind of banned right now. I don't care. Shout out to Andres Munoz for getting out of a bases loaded, no out jam in the bottom of the 10th. Crazy. Kept the game alive, and somehow the Mariners do nothing with that momentum. They see Hogan Harris in the top of the 11th, and they go, oh, okay, 3 up, 3 down. The team's awful. They can't hit. I don't care. The Mariners are still a horrible baseball team, okay? A's by a million tonight. Emerson Hancock is getting blown up. Soderstrom's going deep. Jacob Wilson's going to have at least 3 hits. And I think Lawrence Butler goes yard as well. Give me the Athletics to win at home at Sutter Health Park against the Seattle Mariners, -125 on the money line. Folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for May 6th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.